Well, hello there, folks. Welcome back to Hollow's End Radio. I'm your host, Hollister Whitby. I'd say it's pleasant to see you all again, but as you know, things have been a little less than hospitable in Hollow's End lately. Why, it seems as if ever since that strange circus arrived in town, we've had nothing but headaches and hard luck. But I digress. My job is to tell you folks about the hauntings and sensibly strange happenings around town, and to that task I will stick. I'll start with the good news. It sounds as if Sheriff Parsons and Deputy Randy have been discharged from the hospital. According to my inside source on the mutation ward, they've both been cleared for duty after suffering severe injuries from that car bomb a while back. It turns out the sheriff has some sort of Weapon X-style healing factors. They just take a week's worth of sleep to kick in. Hopefully those two can bring some sanity to this unsightly mess we've been calling a town lately. In more disturbing news, a strange, thick white fog started drifting into town this morning around sunrise. Now, despite its apocalyptic appearance, it doesn't seem to do much except impede your vision. So, drive slow on those windy roads up near Dark Hollow Pass. I'm talking to you, energy vampires. And I've just received word from our news desk about a new threat which is starting to pop up around town. Now, stay with me here. We don't know if this is related to that strange white fog reported earlier, but we are getting preliminary reports, unconfirmed reports, of some very large creatures in the fog. Now, we don't know what these creatures are yet, but it appears that they are hostile, even to other, more civilized monsters. The best course of action right now is to stay inside, lock all windows and doors, and wait for the sheriff and Randy to resolve this mess. Yes, folks, it's all up to them. The hefty responsibility of our lives rests squarely on the shoulders of those two, law enforcement officers. God help us all. We'll keep you informed with up-to-the-minute information about all of that. But in the meantime, let's check in with our weather desk. Oh, well, it appears that our regular weather person, Ken, is missing today. Not sure where he is, actually. Well, that's all right. We'll figure it out later. And the weather seems pretty self-explanatory anyway. Today's forecast is fog. Lots of white fog, with maybe some giant hungry monsters in there. Let's move on. Just this morning, a large spider web was spotted around the town square. According to reports, a giant spider has created some sort of nest in the clock tower and is claiming this nearby area as its own territory. Citizens are being urged to stay away from the town square and the surrounding area until a solution can be arranged. Now, if you live in this area, please alert town authorities if new webbing is found in or around your home. Town officials have promised that they are working on the problem. Town hall employees are working around the clock, so they're completely trapped inside their offices until they can come up with a solution. Speaking of strange happenings around town, a troop of what appears to be bloodthirsty Boy Scouts are still roaming the outskirts of town after wiping out the majority of campers at Hollow's End campgrounds. If you happen to come across this group while driving in your vehicle, immediately get away from them by any means necessary. But if you come across this group while out riding your bike or walking, it's already too late for you. Hopefully you have a will prepared. Which brings me to today's first sponsor. Travis Duckworth Esquire is a full-service law firm serving only residents of Hollow's End. If you need a will prepared, Travis has you covered. Are you a monster? Did you invite a delivery person inside your home and then allegedly attack them? Are you being accused by family members of said victim and being charged with damages you can't afford? Travis Huckleberry Duckworth Esquire has you covered. Those litigious little rat turds won't know what hit them after Travis has gotten through with them. Call Travis Huckleberry Lickitung Duckworth Esquire today. All right, brace yourselves, folks. I'm getting word that there's been further reports of these strange new creatures. We also getting multiple reports of tourists experiencing rapid mutations when exposed to this fog. Further reason to stay inside and close all doors and windows. I repeat, stay inside your homes and close and lock all doors and windows. We'll keep you updated as the reports continue to come in. For now, we will get on with our regularly scheduled broadcast. And I'm being told we have another ad spot. Are you sure? Is this a mistake? Usually we don't do this many mid-rolls. Folks, my producer is insistent, which means they probably got paid a shitload of... Okay, I'll just shut up and let you play whatever this is. Hello, residents of Hollow's End. This is Ordo, ringmaster of the Chaotic Circus. You may have noticed some changes around town recently, and I've been informed that there is some concern that the circus could be responsible for all this trouble. But I assure you, we are just as concerned as all of you about this recent foggy disorder plaguing the town. I'm sure it's only temporary, though, as these things often are. In any event, I'm speaking to you not to scare you, but to invite you to a wondrous event taking place tomorrow night. The grand finale, the final show of the Chaotic Circus, at least for this visit to Hollow's End. The tickets will be free for anyone willing to brave the fog, and I assure you it will be worth it once you see our final act. We will be back, I'm sure. We always come back eventually. Is that it? How much did you get paid to let him blather on like that for 5 minutes? I got a show to do here, Billy. Now, where was I? Oh, in other local news, fishing in all town waterways has been suspended after the discovery of 6 new species of trout in less than 2 days. Local fishermen have reported that after eating the fish, they experienced a range of symptoms. Levitation, spontaneous gigantism, and severe motion sickness were among the most common. Other symptoms, such as spontaneous pregnancy, spontaneous combustion, and lethargy, were less common. In any event, please avoid eating any local fish until authorities can figure this mess out. And if you attended the annual fish fry yesterday, levitate your way towards the local hospital immediately. The annual Shop Local Festival on Main Street was supposed to take place this Saturday, but has been canceled for obvious reasons. When asked about the decision, festival organizer and local mechanic Aaron McFarlane said, "People are floating away and exploding after eating fish from the river. You really want to find out what eating a locally made donut will do? For all I know, it could give you high cholesterol, or make your legs turn into octopus tentacles. We at the Shop Local Festival are not willing to take that risk." And we are getting another update from the field. Wait, someone was actually dumb enough to go out there? Was it Gary? Fucking Gary, man. That guy's got a death wish. All right, we're going to go to the remote feed with Gary, who's out in the fog for some reason. The deadly fog. Did I mention it's deadly? Go ahead, Gary. Thanks, Hollister. I'm standing outside the station, and the fog is really thick. It's hard to breathe, and I can't see more than a few inches in front of my face. Now, we have been getting some reports of bloodthirsty monsters with no respect for human life roaming around in the fog. So far, I haven't seen any, but I'm going to continue keeping an eye out for... Gary? Are you still there? Yeah, I'm here. I just tripped over something. Can't even see what it is in this fog. What is that? Wait, is that... Sorry, I thought I heard something. No, it can't be. It's probably nothing. Anyways, Hollister, The scientists I've spoken to say that creatures like these who operate in such thick fog would need very keen senses, such as smell, hearing, and... How have you talked to multiple scientists? We just found out about this a few minutes ago. And what is even the point of being on location when we're broadcasting on the radio? No one can see you, Gary. Sorry, Hollister. You're breaking up. Were you just saying how I'm a better journalist than you? Oh, shit. Did you guys hear that? Okay, I think I'm going to start heading inside now because clearly there's no... Gary? Did we lose him? Oh, what a shame. Number one field reporter. Sorry, folks. It appears we might have lost the connection, but it's probably for the best. Gary is heading inside now, and that's what the rest of you should be doing too. If you are out driving in your car, just continue proceeding slowly towards home and make sure you block all air vents so you don't breathe in the deadly fog. I mean, we don't know it's deadly. I'm sure it's just turning some people into monsters, and everyone else exposed to it will be totally fine. Because that's how these things work, right? All right, I'm being told by my producers not to cause a panic, so I'll move on. In terms of other local events happening this week, the high school football game is canceled. The fireworks display, canceled. And pretty much everything fun is off until we figure out this fog, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, wait a minute now. I'm getting word that Gary is still on the line. Gary, are you there? I couldn't find the door, Hollister. I don't know where I am. I'm just running. There's something behind me. I don't think I can outrun it. You need to send someone to help me, please. Just try to find some cover somewhere, Gary. And try not to breathe too much. All right. I'm being told to cut away from Gary because it's way too depressing. So we'll move on to some other local news. A shelter has been set up at the local exotic pet store run by Dark Angel. If you find yourself out in the fog and running for your life like Gary, consider swinging by. And don't forget your wallet, because there's a sale on iguana food and all varieties of Temptations cat treats. Donations of food and water are also appreciated. For some reason, J&M Delivery Co. is still operating in this mess, so give them a call if you want to send over a donation. We're going to be here broadcasting all hours of the day and night, so if you want to stay updated on the current chaos in town, keep that dial tuned to Hollows End Radio, AM 1090. Now, a quick word from our sponsor. Oh, what a coincidence. It's J&M Delivery Co. Hey folks, it's Jay the Delivery Guy. If you're scared of going outside in this deadly fog, I don't blame you. I'm scared too. That's why, for the next couple of days, we'll be closed for business. I don't want to die out there, so I'm going to stay inside and wait this shit out. Hopefully it'll just kind of sort itself out. Either way, it's definitely not my turn to handle it. Anyways, don't call us, because we're not going to pick up the phone. Wow, okay. I think that's the first time we've had a commercial telling people not to buy something. Thanks there, Jay. It really made me look like a dick. Anyway, we'll get another report from Gary in the field, so let's go to him for an update on his well-being. Hollister, it's Gary. I'm in the clock tower. I recognize the cornerstone next to the door. I don't know how the hell I got all the way over here. I went inside to get away from that thing chasing me. It sounded like a frickin' mountain was after me. Gary, the clock tower is the absolute last place you should be. That's where the giant spider is, remember? You may want to pick a different spot to hide there, buddy. But of course, you'd know that information since you're a way better journalist than me, right? Seriously? You petty son of a... Listen, Hollister, I don't have much choice here. That thing's right outside and... Gary? Are you there? Okay. I think that's the last we'll be hearing from Gary. Either the giant spider got him or that other thing. Either way, so long, Gary. I'm still alive, Hollister. You massive prick! Yeah, great. That's good, Gary. We're all happy for you. All right, we'll come back to you later. Try to get an interview with that giant spider, if it talks like in Lord of the Rings. And stay safe out there. In other news, Dot's Diner will be closed due to weather conditions today. The town library is still open, but has reduced staff and hours. And good luck getting there. Check the website for more information, or for an ebook you can read in the safety of your own home. Now, for a quick word from a fine local business, Lanham's Antiques and Curiosities. Hey there, folks. Steve Lanham here. Did you inherit an antique family heirloom that you don't want anymore? Bring it by Lanham's Antiques and Curiosities. I'll pay you cold hard cash for that old grandfather clock that came with a weird list of rules you have to follow or you'll die. I'll give you stacks of money for that haunted oil painting your great aunt left you. You know, the one with the old lady in it whose eyes silently follow you around the room, and you're pretty sure you hear her walking around in the basement sometimes. I'll take your cursed gold coins and possessed dolls, too. We got a whole room of them. So come on down, Monday to Friday from 9 to 5. And remember, that's 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. Don't try to come here during the daytime, or you'll end up working here forever, just like me. Can't escape now. Seriously, though, I can't escape. This place is frickin' cursed or something. All right. I guess that's it for that advertisement. Cut off kind of abruptly there. That's weird. Okay, folks. I'm getting word that Gary is still somehow alive and is reporting from the field. What do you have for us, Gary? I'm here inside the clock tower, Hollister. This is very dangerous, I'm sure, but I'm ascending the stairs to try to get a better look at the spider's lair. I tried going outside, but there was something waiting for me out there. Since I'm gonna die anyway, I figured I'd try to get a relevant story out of it. That's very brave of you, Gary. You'll get a Pulitzer for this, I'm sure. Don't patronize me, Hollister. But yes, I am very brave. That part is true. You're starting to cut out there, Gary. No, wait. I'm approaching the top of the clock tower stairs. There's something up here. It appears to be sleeping. Oh, dear Lord, it's massive. It's furry, disgusting. There are webs everywhere. Bristles all over the back. A giant red hourglass like a black widow. And what are all those shiny red balls all over the... Oh no. Oh dear God, no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Gary? What's happening there, Gary? Give us an update now. They're eggs. Fucking spider eggs everywhere, Hollister. There's so many of them, and... Gary? What is it now? Oh God. It's waking up. Oh no. It's coming this way. Hollister, tell my wife and son Gary? Gary, are you there? Okay, folks, we seem to have lost Gary, both telephonically and otherwise. Did anyone know he was married? You know his wife, Dave? Okay, would you? Thanks. Well, folks, that really derailed this whole broadcast. We really lost, a very solid, decent reporter today. Top 5 of the station, for sure. Gary went out of his way to get the story, always wanting the spotlight on him. He was a true champion of news broadcasting and journalism and all that. We'll miss you, Gary. All right, that's enough of that. Let's move on. In other news... Sorry, what? Oh. Are you sure? Oh, shit. My apologies, folks. It seems as if we've run into a little bit of trouble here at the station. When good old Gary went out in the fog, it sounds as if he left the doors to our lobby ajar. Now, as much as I don't like to speak ill of the dead, this is really not good for us. Yes, folks, Gary has well and truly fucked us here. It sounds as if our building has been, entered by some of these strange creatures from the fog, and their attention towards our building is, in turn, bringing further attention from other creatures. Yes, folks, the floor is rattling under my feet now, and I'm not sure what's causing it. But it feels like that scene in Jurassic Park with the water glass. Like something really big is walking over here, and it's getting closer. We're going to stay on the air as long as we can, folks. I don't know if we're safe in here, but it sure as hell isn't any safer outside. My producer, Brandy, is telling me there's something scratching on our studio door. They're in the vents as well. I think, yes, they're starting to get through the door. This might be the end, folks. Yes, we might be well and truly screwed. Man, oh, jeez, I'm crow, that scared the bejesus out of me. Well, it appears there's a big old eyeball looking in at me from outside the studio window. Yes, folks, that is definitely a dinosaur or a Godzilla creature of some sort. Because we're up on the third floor, and that thing's leaning down just to get a good look at us in here. All right, folks, it appears to be backing away from the window. It's backing up, and it's... Oh, no! It's taking a running start! It's coming at us! Brandy, toss me that gun. Well, all right. That appears to have done the trick, folks. But now that damn fog is coming into the studio. We gotta get the hell out of here, Brandy. I don't trust that shit. They're coming through the door, Hollister. Well, get your gun. You still have that little nickel-plated thing I got you for Christmas last year? Yes, I have it. Well, then you best be grabbing it, Ms. Powell. It looks as if we're going to have to blast our way out of here. Sorry, folks. We're going to have to end today's broadcast early. Hopefully we'll be back on the air once the sheriff and Randy get this mess sorted out. Our lives are in their hands now. And if that doesn't scare you, I don't know what will. For now, this is Hollister Whitby signing off from Hollows End Radio AM 1090. Stay safe out there now, folks, and don't breathe in the deadly fog. Oh, and stay away from the clock tower. You don't want to wind up like Gary. Hollister, let's go. They're getting in. I need your ass over here. All right. Goodbye, folks. I hope you have a pleasant day, and try not to die out there in the deadly fog. Are we ready? Yes, let's do this shit. Hey, everybody. Hope you enjoyed today's story. This one, written by me. This one is leading up to the penultimate episode of the series, as the sheriff and Randy have just been released from the hospital, and as they leave, they find the town has been overwhelmed by a mysterious white fog. I'd actually written a good chunk of the next installment with the sheriff and Randy when I had the idea for this story and decided to just go ahead and write it. I've thought for a couple of years now that Hollow's End really needs a radio personality, and I'd considered a few different ways of introducing that character within other stories and things like that. But I'm glad I decided to do it this way. I really like how this particular story turned out. It reminded me a little bit of Welcome to Night Vale, which I used to listen to occasionally back in the day. I don't know if any of you are familiar with that particular show or those books. I like the idea of this very calm-headed radio announcer kind of describing the current insanity in town as there's, monsters and this horrifying fog enveloping the town. I thought of a few different voices for the radio announcer for this one, but for some reason, just none of them really sounded right to me. I kept coming back to this sort of Louisiana thing, which I haven't really perfected just yet, but hopefully it was decent. Hopefully you all enjoyed it. If you're a fan of Hollow's End and you missed the previous announcements, I figured I'd mention again with this episode that the Hollow's End book is now available on Amazon. I'm also working on an audiobook for it, which I hope to have released before Halloween. That's book 1 of Hollow's End, which I've named Welcome to Hollow's End. For anyone keeping track, we're currently on Season 3 of Hollow's End, what will eventually become Book 4, since Season 0 is Book 1. I alluded to a few past events which have taken place in Hollow's End this season since the arrival of the circus. In this episode, I mentioned the evil Boy Scout troop, the sheriff and Randy getting admitted to the hospital, as well as the circus itself, which is sort of the showpiece of this whole season. If you missed any of this season and you want to catch up, I'll include a link at the end of the video to watch this current season from the beginning. And for those of you who have never heard of Hollow's End before this particular video, I would highly encourage you to check out the channel homepage for the full Hollow's End playlist. There's probably a couple dozen hours of Hollow's End content there, and I'm really proud of this series, and I think it's probably the best thing I've ever written. Not to toot my own horn, but I think it's really good, and if you like what you heard here, I think you'll enjoy the rest of the series, so go check it out on the channel homepage. A few shout-outs from this story. I want to give a mention to a few Hollow's End citizens and Patreon members who were introduced in this story. Steve Lanham, Aaron McFarland, Brandy Powell, and Dark Angel, many of whom sent in details for their characters in the story. If you want to be featured in a future Hollow's End story as a character in the town, check out my Patreon page, patreon.com/Jordan Grupe Horror for more information about that. For Steve Lanham's character, he requested to be the owner of an antiques and curiosities shop in town, and I had a lot of fun writing up that little ad spot. Huge thanks to Steve for that idea. I mentioned a few stories in that ad spot and made some references people might have caught, such as the haunted painting with the old lady in it. That was actually a reference to an older story of mine. I bought a cursed painting at an online auction, which you can find on the channel. The grandfather clock bit was actually from a future story that I haven't finished writing yet, but I've started writing. And the haunted dolls bit was a bit of an homage to John Dies at the End, specifically the most recent book where they mentioned having a storage locker filled with haunted dolls. If you haven't read those books, highly recommend checking them out. Jason Pargin is an amazing writer. Those books are all excellent and a huge inspiration. I think I started writing Hollow's End well before I started reading those books, but there is a similar type of town, kind of, in those books called Undisclosed, where there's not monsters and humans living side by side, but it's more just a lot of weird shit happens in the town, and it's just very abnormal. Sort of one of those Stephen King, Castle Rock places where the veil between worlds is very thin. Highly recommend checking out Jason Pargin and John Dies at the End, that series, if you haven't yet. I should have another Hollow's End story coming soon. I'm currently working on the next installment with the Sheriff and Randy, as I mentioned. I'll have more news about that on the channel as soon as I have an ETA for that story. In other news, the Terrors of the Forest audiobook I recently narrated is available now on Amazon. This is a collection of short, scary stories with a theme of, you guessed it, terror in the forest. Summer camps, hiking with friends, camping, cottages, all fair game in this 4.5 hour long audiobook. There's stories written by John Beardify, Mr. Michael Squid, Blair Daniels, me, Jordan Grupe, as well as other authors. I'll include a link in the description for that, and I will also feature a couple of sneak preview stories on the channel in the coming days directly from that audiobook. One last thing I'll mention here quickly is that if you're listening to this on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, please follow us on there. It really helps us get seen by more people, really helps boost the podcast so it's more visible, really helps out the channel just overall. If you're watching on YouTube, which most people statistically probably are, Please like, comment, subscribe, and hype the video. All that stuff really helps out a lot. Turn on notifications. If you're like me and you use YouTube a lot, you see a lot of shorts and a lot of games and things popping up on the homepage that I'm not particularly interested in. But if you turn on notifications, you should get notified whenever we put out a new video. So that way you won't miss anything from the channel. All right, that's it for today. I'll be back on Wednesday with another story, and there will be more Hollow's End coming to the channel very soon. All right, I hope you all have a great week, and I'll see you Wednesday.